Hello, people. How you doing today? I am here with Danny Trio, like usual, and we have an interesting subject today. We're going to talk about a new guy that's coming to this area soon, named Mikey Scars. Uh, but I just want to mention a few things. So I'm just going to let some people get in here before we really get into the main subject. Danny, how you doing today?
Good, Lee. How are you?
So, what do you think about all this insanity going on in here? We do all this horrible fighting and stuff. It
is what it is, man.
It gets worse and worse every day, doesn't it? Well, we're going to stay away from that today. We said our piece, and we're going to talk about Mikey Scars. And I had a couple people come in here, Danny, and they were like, "Why are you talking about Mikey Scars? How many more people did Mikey Scars lock up compared to Sammy Gravano?"
Well, I believe he had 80 convictions.
80 convictions. So, and Sammy Gravano had what, 29, something like that?
Yeah.
So if you guys are going to go after Sammy Gravano, but you're going to give Mikey Scars a pass, something's wrong here, people.
Well, listen, I don't care who doesn't like talking about Mikey Scars. Mikey Scars, a lot of these people have no clue who he is or was. Oh, they read it in Wikipedia and all that kind of stuff. Mikey Scars was a fucking punk and a bitch. And I don't give a fuck what anybody says, rat or mob historian. He's not. He was his own son called him a bitch and a rat. So you guys can take it for what it's worth. If you don't like talking about it, unsub and move on.
Okay. And if you do want to talk about it, sub. Okay. But anyway, I'm going to read some of the people here. D-Truth, you've been here, but you've been doing a lot of complaining, so I'm guessing you're gone by now. Miss Can't Be Wrong, how you doing? A matter of fact, D-Truth said to me, "Lee, why are you going after Mikey Scars? Maybe you should reach out to him."
Why should you reach out? He's a rat.
Yeah.
Fuck him.
Yeah. That's what he actually said.
Why don't that guy reach out to him and they can go have coffee?
Yeah. And then do something wrong and he'll rat you out. Oh, look at this right away. Terry Time, oldest and baddest, $20.
Thank you, Terry. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Can't stay, drive, and appreciate that. The other day, someone wrote, being a wise ass, wrote to Terry that she better be careful of me because I might not kidnap her. I might kidnap her. And Terry wrote back that I'm the one that has to be worried about getting kidnapped. She's a tough woman, people. Vinny the Weasel. Glad you're looking forward to the live. Okay, Brooklyn Rob, it's good to see you here. Let's see who else. Miss Charlie Stein, how you doing? BEK Brooklyn, we're doing good. I hope you're doing well too. Josh Lyles, Carmine S. John Jr. gave up information on Scars, but didn't want to take the stand, so he turned on Junior. Well, listen, we're not here about Junior today. That could be another show down the road, but right now we're going to talk about Mikey Scars. MRE Fertilizer Management, how you doing, my man? Even though you bust my chops, you're welcome there anytime. I might even give you a wrench. Let's see who else. Okay, we're going down here. Mob Organized Crime Podcast. Mob Organized Crime Podcast says, if Mikey Scars starts a YouTube channel, well, we'd all be subbing. I want to hear from him. I won't be subbing. Danny, will you be subbing?
Again, I'm gonna make it clear. I don't watch Gravano. I don't watch none of them. And if you're interested in Mikey Scars because you believe Mikey Scars has, valuable information and information that you might have not heard before, then you go right ahead and sub to him. He's nothing but a fucking fag and a rat. So that goes to your character, not mine.
Okay, Gerard, hello, the truth. I agree with you. Cambodia Joe, Stacks and Scam. I don't want to talk about Stacks in this show. Come on. Let's not load. Okay, when we get grills, we'll talk about Stacks. But until you see grills on me and Danny, we are not going to talk about them on here. Okay, Billy Billups, how you doing, my man? Okay, let's see. Brian Press is in the house. Brian, it's always good to see you here.
What's up,
Donald
Brian?
Bill Will, good to see you here. A-Rock. Jimmy will be Mikey Scars. Listen, we're not here about Jimmy either, guys. Let's keep this straight. Okay, we're talking about Mikey Scars. And what I'm going to do to start this off, I'm going to read you an article written by Steve Dunleavy in the New York Post when this all went down, to give you an idea of what people thought about this man. So people, I'm going to pull that up. It's not a long article. It's going to be short. I'm going to get, and then we're going to talk about him. 1 minute, please. Okay, tough guy was a real wuss. This is from April 17th, 2007. Steve Dunleavy, as you know, was a great writer. I don't know if he's around or alive anymore, but he was a hell of a reporter for many years. Mob turncoat Mikey Scars DiLeonardo yesterday richly regaled the jury on just what a tough guy he was. I can hit pretty good. I've got pretty good right, the one-time Gambino captain told the defense attorney. And yet, withering cross-examination, he came off as a wuss. He admitted to Carrazzo that when his brother Robert, a member of the rival Colombo mob, was murdered in 1981, he did nothing, even though he knew who the killers were.
He did nothing because Paul Castellano told him to stand down.
He said that he was told to back off when Gambino boss Castellano said, leave this alone. Even this tough guy on 3 occasions was beaten up, pistol whipped twice. And after conversations with fellow mobsters, he said he did nothing to avenge his beatings. No retribution, even though he could have had their brains blown out. Remember, this guy was around a powerful Gambino crew. He could have easily had these guys killed. So much for the prosecution's opening statement by assistant prosecutor. You disrespect the mob, you get killed. Mikey Scars, who is the witness protection program, has given evidence against Dominic Skinny Dom. How's that say? Pisciana?
Pizzonia.
I'm sorry. That's why I asked Danny. In 1992, of the Bonnie and Clyde couple who embarrassed the mob by ripping off their social clubs. If you guys remember Bonnie and Clyde, they ripped off the social clubs, and Mickey Scars routed out the people that killed these two people. Scars said he once owned a mob social club, making fortunes on loan sharking and bookmaking, and yet conceded that because of his gambling habit, he himself would go to the Shylocks. Caruso, were you in debt? DiLeonardo, I was hypnotized with football. Once I lost $150,000 on a weekend. Between passing on vengeance of his brother's murder, being humbled by 3 beatdowns and anguished, it is a wonder Scars didn't die of a heart attack triggered by a nervous breakdown. And that's that. So how accurate was that article by Steve Dunleavy, would you say?
I can only go by what I know. And I know that Mikey Scars was not a killer or a fighter. He was a moneymaker. He was not a gangster per se. He wasn't even a street guy. He was coddled his whole life. He had relatives that were in the mob. He was coddled. He became what he became because he was a moneymaker. He was involved in a lot of things, from Scores nightclub to Atlanta. He had a club that was shaking down in Atlanta. And he had a construction company with Sammy Bull's brother-in-law, Eddie. He had a lot of things. He did a lot of things on Wall Street, pump and dump. He did all kinds of stuff. He was promoted to a captain, I believe, in the early 90s, 91 and 92, if I'm not mistaken. And he was definitely an earner. But he was not a gangster.
Okay, I'm going to be corrected here. It's Mikey Lee, not Mickey. Hey, listen.
I told you that, Mike.
He told me that, but you know what? So I fucked it up, John. But I'm sure you're going to be there to tell me everything I'm doing wrong, John Boy. But that's okay. Okay. They don't care about the good stuff. They care when you miss a name or something. He was Tommy Stiggs. He was a moneymaker for Costa Nostra. Not everybody is a tough guy. Are you sticking up for? Okay, Tommy. You always talk about how much you hate rats. Now, this guy was a big rat. Are you sticking up for him? I just want to know that, Tommy. Because it's interesting. It seems like a lot of guys are going out of their way for some reason to stick up for Mikey Scars, who has 3 times as many convictions he got for the feds than Sammy Gavano. Kind of sounds hypocritical, doesn't it, Danny?
Well, I don't know what Tommy's thinking about, but he's a rat, and it is what it is. I don't care how much money he made. He's still a fucking lowlife.
And people, do you understand that when these guys start ratting, they destroy families? Sammy Gramano destroyed 29 families. Mikey Scars destroyed 80 families.
Let me ask you a question. Whatever happened to the guy that takes his lumps, goes to prison, gets out, and does something productive or whatever? Where is that? Where's the accolades for him? Everybody seems to be sucking on these pricks of the rats. I don't understand you people. You guys live in a fucking bubble. And I know half of you, more than half of you, have no clue what the streets are even about. So maybe that's the reason why you gravitate to these cocksuckers that go on these platforms and can say whatever the fuck they
language.
Want. And you seem to
like
that.
You're swearing too early. You got to save that for the middle of the video. Yeah, guys. Here's what it comes down to. We can't pick and choose. It's like people say to me, "You're friends with Gene Barillo." No, I'm not friends with Gene Barillo. I know Gene Barillo. I don't approve of anything Gene Barillo did or does. Okay. This is a show that basically goes after rats. That's what we do here. And we have people all claiming it, calling people rats. You got the side with MRE, they're calling people rats, but they let some people slide on it. We're not going to let nobody slide here on it. And if I let rats slide here, what's the odds of you staying on this show with me?
Listen, I want nothing to do with rats. That's it. I don't converse with them. I don't sit down with them. And let me just explain to you people that seem to think because I know somebody on Facebook that's an informant, that I'm some kind of friends with him. We break bread. We go out and eat macaroni together. It's furthest thing from the truth. And, if he was here, he would tell you what I think of him. We converse back and forth simply because we're on Facebook. There's things that I say to him, and he acknowledges them, and he admits them. But he's not on a platform giving his information at all. He does his thing, and that's it. So let's get back to rats. Particularly
1 second, though, Danny. We got Del Griffith in here. Why are you such a flip-flopper? Hey, Del, thank you for the view. If you're going to come here and call me a flip-flopper, but you're going to give the show a view, no problem, brother. You can call me whatever you want. And Ram says, Danny, remember, you work for Lee now. I can guarantee you, Ram, Danny doesn't work for nobody. See, we got to let...
See, this is what's wrong with these platforms. You see this guy here? This guy's an idiot. You see this guy? But, you got to allow them to talk because they're idiots.
See, we do that here on this show. We'll let you talk and say what you want. So you're more than welcome. We'll put up your remarks too, people. So if you guys want to come in, I don't care if 100 of you come in, because that's 100 views. So who's really the smart one here, guys?
All right, let's get back to Mikey the Rat.
Okay. So let me just give people an idea. Mikey Scars came from a real gangster family. Get back to another century. Explain to these people what Mikey Scars' son thinks of him.
Oh, his son can't stand him. His first son, I don't know about Anthony, the second son, but the first son calls him a rat and a lowlife.
See, people,
How about your own son calling you that? That's really nice, huh?
Jesse Roth, how you doing? Appreciate you showing up. Now, Tony says Scars is just starting to break into genre. Why is he starting to break into genre? Because he sees that the rats are making money here. People here accept them with open arms. Isn't it amazing how these guys will never be accepted on the street ever again, but they would be accepted here, like
Absolutely.
they're heroes.
It's like, I don't know. It's like being in Never Land.
Okay, let's see. Skeeter. Lee wishes everyone had a shorter memory span. Well, yeah, if they have a shorter memory span, I can have a better conversation with them. But Skeeter, thank you. I love people with the insults, though. They're pretty good. Lee, I've heard you call Gene your friends before. Maybe I took it out of context. You sure did. Okay. Gene Barillo is not my friend. Gene Barillo is Gene Barillo. He's all about himself. I was hoping that I could help the guy. To be honest with you, he's a younger guy. But when I seen that I could not help him in any way, you can't waste your time. See, people, you got to understand, these guys at Rat, they have a certain thing inside of them. Danny, can you explain it when I talk about these rats, why they can't be friends with people and stuff? And
well, because they have an agenda, and their agenda is to get on a platform in general and to tell people what they want to hear. And, people gravitate towards that because, quote unquote, they want to know about the mafia. And the best way to find out about the mafia is to talk to these rats. So they become affiliated with them. And if you try to attack them in any way, they come after you because, they think the rats are the ones that have the platform. And if you say anything against that, you're ridiculed or you're told you're full of shit. But the fact of the matter is rats are full of shit, period. If they go in there and rat somebody out, they're full of shit, period. And they're cowards. And I don't give a fuck how anybody thinks about them, how they perceive them. The fact of the matter is that they're rats, period. No other argument.
Now, when Mikey Scars went to jail in the early 2000s, after he got busted for the scores thing, do you remember that, Danny?
Yeah.
So basically, the prison guards there, they said were abusing him, mocking him, putting pubes in his food, and treated them like shit. Why do you think that they chose him to treat like shit?
Well, listen, I wasn't there, so I really don't know. I can only surmise why. Again, Mikey Scars was not a tough guy, okay? Mikey fucking Scars was as soft as Shaman. So, they knew that, and they took advantage of that. What is he going to do? The Gambino crime family shelved him because they said he was robbing. He got insulted and became a rat. And, hey, listen, to each their own. But if you're a rat, as far as I'm concerned, you're as good as shit on a shoe.
And did he rat against John Jr.?
Absolutely did.
And who else did he rat on?
Take your pick. Paul, he ratted against Valario, another big shot. The Gambino crime family was on the inner circle of the Gambino crime family. I can go on and on. You guys can do your due diligence and look it up. But he ratted on a whole bunch of people, man. A whole bunch of people.
And when his brother got killed.
Well, when Robert got killed, the reason, I'm not going to go into that because that's a different program. He got killed. Robert got killed. It had something to do with the Colombo crime family. Scars wanted him dead. Of course, Scars ain't going to do it himself. And Paul Castellano told him stand down because the Gambinos had business with the Colombos and they didn't want to upset that specific deal. So Mikey Scars got fucked in the ass and they essentially told him, you're out of luck, pal. Take a walk.
He
never revenged his brother.
And did this go through the streets back then? What happened?
Yes, 100%.
So, but he was a lot like Michael Francis, where he wasn't known as a fighter or nothing, but he knew how to make money.
Yeah, he made a ton of money. The guy made ridiculous amounts of money. I mean, stupid money. You can't even comprehend the money. But, if you want to look at that side of it and just glorify him about that, go right ahead. But, as far as Cosa Nostra goes, I equate it different. Number one, he wasn't a tough guy. Number two, he was a rat. So anything else is out of the realm. You know what I'm saying? So, as far as I'm concerned, he's a junk head. He's a garbage fucking pail. Whatever you want to call him, but that's what he is. But if you want to glorify him, then, maybe you should, see where he is and ask him out to lunch. And you guys can have like a kumbaya session and you could stroke his back for him.
And let me ask you a question. When he was arrested, was he even looking at murder charges or all other stuff?
Other stuff.
So he wasn't even looking at murder charges.
He had a murder charge in regards to Fred Weiss. I don't remember what happened. I probably do, but I don't remember. But I think it was in 82, he was indicted on labor racketeering and the murder of Fred Weiss. But draws a blank now. I know he was acquitted in Georgia for the extortion in the Gold Club, strip club in Atlanta. But I know he had something to do with a Fred Weiss murder.
Yeah, and Fred Weiss, wasn't he murdered by Sammy Gravano?
Well, yeah, but there's some guy he was involved, whether, I don't know how, but I forget. But Fred Weiss, he was indicted on a Fred Weiss murder in 2002, I believe.
Now, when was he indicted on that murder? Was it before these charges came down, or?
In 2002.
So they basically threw everything on this indictment. He
Yeah.
was looking at life, most likely.
Well, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the charges bring life, but I don't know if that's what have you gotten. I have no idea.
But you know what's funny? You know what's funny about that? Tommy Reynolds got 3 murders and is doing his time, and he wasn't even a bigwig in the family. So a guy like Tommy Reynolds can do his time, but Mikey Scars can't.
Well, again, you know, it goes to your character.
Mikey
and
Scars.
I'll say this
Mikey
until the day I die.
Mikey
If
Scars.
the government, or you go to the government, or vice versa, and they give you a deal and you take it, you're a scumbag. And I listen. That's my opinion. You guys don't have to agree with me, but the way I look at things, if I'm on the street and I'm hustling and doing fucking crime, and I got a cocksucker next to me that's willing to rat, he should get his neck broke and sip out of a straw the rest of his life. That's my opinion. So if you guys differ, then that's your opinion.
Okay, let's see. David Fields, another view. Lee is jealous and bitter that Black Handprint Mafia got Mikey Scars on his show, while the best Lee could do was that Joker Ramondi, and you couldn't even make that happen. Well, David, I'd like to thank you for the review, and we put this up here. And listen, Black Handprint Mafia, I've actually talked to him. He seems like a nice guy. Whatever he wants to do on his show is his business. Actually, I found out last night that he was on the show, so I didn't really know. But whatever makes your boat float, David. Okay, let's see. Tommy Stiggs, good topic. I appreciate it, Tommy. Thank you. Here's what Tony said. Listen, they all relocate to Florida and hang out together and try to reunite with each other. Hey, Danny, are they down there? Do you ever get any invitations to hang out with them?
No, I don't know where the fuck they are. They're not in the woods, that's for sure. They're probably down in Fort Lauderdale.
My blue heaven all the way, ain't it? Yeah. Sale Max, Lee and Danny are a great match. Great content always. Hello, Danny. It's Irish Shane from Ireland. I'm on your page.
Thank you, Seal Max.
You're
I appreciate that, brother.
Guy. Thank you, Seal Max, for the $17.99. It's greatly appreciated. Okay, Jane Creek, I was completely indifferent toward government cooperators before I came here, not being a criminal who wasn't raised by criminals. The topic never came up. Now I'm very pro-government cooperator. Now I'm very pro-government operator. Does that mean you're for them? Jane, I'm sorry, I'm not reading that correct. I don't want to answer that without knowing exactly what you meant by that. Are you for the rats going to the government or against it? Mikey Scars tatted because he couldn't do 10 years. Okay,
yeah, he only did 36 months in protective custody. He's a tough guy, right? La Cosa Nostra, right?
Witsack he was in, basically. It's not even doing time, right? He's in Witsack. Okay, let's see. Okay, I'm going to try to read your remarks today, guys, because give us your opinion. I don't care one way or another. Just tell us your opinion. We're not going to insult you. Everybody's entitled to their opinion on this. Going on YouTube is like therapy in the rat's mind. It's a way for them to reunite with their past.
Absolutely. It's an avenue for them to relive and to find acceptance for what they did. I don't care what anybody says. That's the truth. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. But the flip side of the coin is if they have a right to come on a forum and talk their shit, we have the right to counter and tell them they're fucking rats, period. And if they don't like it, get a fucking broom and go sweep the front of their house.
And I'd like to ask you guys something too. Seriously, people. He put 80 people away. We're talking fathers of families. We're talking about people. I'll give you an example, like Scores. Scores wasn't about murder. Scores was about embezzlement and taxes. What exactly was the Scores bus about, Danny?
Well, it was a shakedown. They were getting money, and they were making huge amounts of money from Scores.
So you're talking about guys going to jail for committing white collar crimes because of Mikey Scars. We're not talking about he's putting a bunch of murders. I'm sure he put some away, but a lot of this were white collar guys doing 20, 30 years because this man's going to do 10, 20 years. If you guys think that's fair, something's wrong here. At least all rats isn't shit in life. Keisha, thank you. You said it pretty solid. Rats are like drug addicts. They have that rat mentality like drug addicts. They have a drug addict mentality.
Absolutely. It's one for all and all for one. They're only concerned about their own, situation. But when they were out there doing dirt with the guy next to them, they were best friends. But when they get caught, it's a different story. That's my argument. You know what I'm saying? It dispels any myth that they're tough. As far as I'm concerned, if you're a rat, you're not tough. And, I don't care how good you are with your hands. You're not tough. You're a coward.
Now we're going to put Skeeter up. Skeeter says, Danny Trio, you should practice what you're preaching.
Oh, yeah? Well, why don't you show your face and come on here and tell me what you know about me, jerk off? Because whoever the fuck you are, you don't know nothing about me, you jerk job. Now, why don't you show your face and come on here and accuse me of something, you bitch?
And you're welcome, Skeeter. If you have the balls to come on, let us know. We'll drop you the link. But you know what?
Another fucking jerk off.
You're a troll. See, trolls don't have balls.
Yeah.
They have balls when nobody can see them. That's what you guys are. That's what you guys are sneaking through this community doing right now. I watched the show last night where there were 140 people watching one show. And all the people on the show weren't showing their face. There were six things up, no faces. So come on, guys. If you're going to talk the game, if you're going to be a tough guy, and this goes for the Vinnie Greens, and this goes for you guys, don't be a tough guy if you're not going to show your face. We already learned what happens when people don't show their face and what's wrong with them and who they are. So your shows will never be taken serious. You don't even have half the balls. That Josie has more balls than you guys, and she's a woman. At least she shows her face. You guys don't show shit. You're cowards, man. You're cowards. Now take that and do a show off that, you bitches. Okay. Jesse Roth, rats are rats, but at the end of the day, without these people, you wouldn't have a genre and you wouldn't be making money either, just saying. Jesse Roth, that's not true. I make money even when I'm not talking about the rats. I could be doing another show. I can just be talking about mafia stuff. See, Jesse, this is the problem. This is the problem. People have to decide whether they're for them or against them. And it speaks about people in their life. But, I respect your opinion, Jesse. And this is what we need, a debate on this, because these guys, Mikey Scars ain't the last one to come here. They're all coming here because they know the people here don't care. The people here don't understand or have any pity or feelings for the 80 people he put away on charges like embezzlement, shit like that, taxes he helped put people away for 20, 30 years. And him, he's out free running around. Ram, Danny, don't get mad. You're the co-host. That means you work for Lee now. Oh, this guy keeps saying the same thing, Danny. It is what it is. Why are you taking it personal? These fucking guys, Danny. Danny, can you tell everybody how much I pay you a week?
$6,000.
Okay, California living, $9.99. Hey, Danny, I'm the one that sends you that comment on your Facebook, brother. Thank you for the reply. And Lee, you have a great show, guys. See, why can't more people be like that?
Thank you, pal. I appreciate that.
John DiGiorgio. If these people just joined any of the money mob sites on Facebook, they would learn more in a week about the real life in Costa Nostra. And yes, Facebook, let me tell you something, people. The crowd on Facebook is totally different than the people in here. You have more knowledgeable people that understand. Actually, you got a lot of gangsters on Facebook. That's where, see, you guys think they're here. There's some here. But Danny, explain to them the kind of people that you really have on Facebook that goes in these shows and stuff like that. Just give them an idea.
Well, there's, on my group, there's 3 in my group that I know personally that, I'm not going to go into detail, but they're not on YouTube.
And they laugh at this.
Thanks, John, for that comment.
And what would happen if, say, you've already had Larry Mazza try to come in and start trouble? How did that work out for him?
Well, again, I'm not going to go into detail, but it didn't go well.
And you've had other guys too. We can name a few of them, people. They're afraid to go on Facebook sites because these guys on Facebook go right at them. The minute they know who they are, they go at them. Robert Smith, I thought you passed away. Robert, I'm just putting you up there because you're giving me a view. I like that. 250 in the house. Oh, what was it that clown Renee said last night? Renee, the guy with all the guns from California. He said that he was in the show last night and there were 140 people in the show. And you know what he said? He says, Lee's jealous of this show because he doesn't get 140 people. If I got 140 people, I would shut my show down. Right now, there's 250 people here. So, Renee, sissy boy with the guns. Remember you threatened to rat me out about a gun, you little bitch? Look at how many people here, okay? Now you go over there, talk that tough game, show your face, you little bitch. See, people, we're going to come out hard at them. If they fuck with us, we'll fuck with them twice as hard. He threatened to send the cops to my house to see because I was a felon if I had a gun. This is the guy that showed me a bunch of guns. But I could put up that picture, but I won't because I'm not the rat bitch like him. Okay, let's see. Ex-Canarsie, Jane, fair enough, but you realize these people get away with literal murder, and most of the time are ratting on people they grew up with in the family. They have no integrity whatsoever. Ex-Canarsie, you said it. Can anybody say it better than that?
No, he's absolutely right. And again, everybody has a right to choose what they do in life. I don't give a fuck if you're a banker, a wise guy, or a garbage man. But the fact of the matter is if you inform or rat on somebody, you're a scumbag, period. Period. So it is what it is.
Now, Tony B says the
Cavalcanti family.
The Cavalcanti's clipped Weiss because Gambinos couldn't get to him. That could be so. If he's hiding in Columbo land, I guess it wasn't a smart thing for him to hide in Columbo land, was it, Danny?
Well, he was indicted on the Fred Weiss murder. I know that for a fact. I saw the indictment.
Joey Electric. All the mob movies and books are inspired by rats, so let's not watch them then. Joey, that makes sense.
Like I said before, you guys do what you want. I'm not here. I'm not the fucking messiah. You guys do what you want. But, if you're going to hold them in a regard that, there's somebody to revere or to look up to or to watch, that's something I don't do because I watch very little TV. But that's just me. You guys do what the fuck you want to go. This is my opinion. And I was out there. I know how these people operate. I was in jail for many, many years. I know what they do. So listen, you guys, I don't know if you're street people, if you're softball players.
I don't
know what you are.
Danny, if
you don't know what's going on out there, if you were never in the street, you really have no way to comment. Theoretically, you have no clue.
If they don't understand what it's like when you have a best friend, and that best friend goes to the FBI and gives you up, turns you in. And
I don't know if anybody's ever been ratted on. Do you know how that feels? If you go to court together and they pull your friend to the side, he no longer goes to court with you no more. and you're sitting there with your balls in your hand, I don't know about you, but that's a murder charge as far as I'm concerned. That makes people crazy. It makes me crazy. If I have to sit there and hold the bag for what you did along with me, and you're going to go out in 3 years and I got to spend 18, 20, 30 years in prison, if that's wrong, if that's right, there's something wrong with you people.
Jane Creek, actually, this is a very good point. If you don't break the law, no one will ever inform on you. That's not true, though. We've had innocent people go to prison because of informants putting their names out there. Would you say that informants have put innocent people away, Dan?
Absolutely. The government will do whatever they want to get what they want. And that's a fact. If you think the government is going to sit there and pacify people and say, oh, well, he's not really, you're crazy. They'll lie and they'll manipulate whatever they got to do to make that charge stick. And if for 1 minute, if you people don't believe that, again, you live in Never Never Land.
Bofa, are you still alive? Bofa's still alive. I'm still alive. Bad cough. Danny's still alive. Yeah, we're still alive, guys. Tony says it took 10 guys to clip Freddie Weiss. Hey, that's not more. How about Hamster? Jimmy talks about this guy Hamster all the time. What do they shoot him 4 or 5 times? He's in a wheelchair now, but some people just don't die when they're shot. Danny, when you were shot, you should have died, right?
I should have, but I was lucky. But I can't tell you why, but it is what it is.
Casso, how many times was Casso shot? 5 times, 6 times they hit him, and he lived. Who the hell? When you're shot with a bullet, if it doesn't go into the liver, the kidney, or the heart, at least you have a chance. But if it goes into the liver, you're dead. It's that simple. You're going to bleed out. No matter who you are. That's your opinion, but your co-host has been interrupted multiple times. Left with no internet. Chad. Oh, Chad with a football pitcher. Is that you, Chad, or is that your gay lover?
Well, I tell you what, Chad. And I'm not being facetious or whatever, but you're welcome to come on here, all right, and explain to me your comment, because you seem to think I'm a tough guy. So come on and explain to me your comment, because I'm not a tough guy, not at all. But I would like you to come on and explain your position, tough guy.
No, he wouldn't. He has a picture of his gay lover on it. Look at him. Come on. He's probably like a 70-year-old guy with a little young lover named Chad. Okay.
Another jerk.
Miss Campy, I wouldn't want to be running with someone I thought would tell on me either. But problem with that, Miss Campy, wrong. Sometimes you're running with some people that you would think that would never rat you out. How many times have we seen that in the mob, Danny, when guys that are friends with...
Yeah, listen, a lot of people on this genre have no conception. They think they watch The Godfather and Goodfellas and they know what the mafia is about, or organized crime, or even street guys, and they have no clue. If you haven't lived it, your comments hold very little weight. Your opinions are your opinions, but your comments hold very little weight. Until you've been there and understand what's going on, that's my opinion. So you guys take it for what it's worth.
Miss can't be wrong. Black, like I said, Black Handprint Mafia has talked to me. He seems like a nice guy. It's not my business how he wants to do his show. Just like it's not his business how I want to do mine. I respect whatever he wants to do. So, Miss can't be wrong. You're absolutely right.
Let me. I don't know the guy. I don't know none of these guys because I don't follow none of them. But let me just tell you this. I can read 50 books a week too. I'm just saying, everything you people read is not what actually happened. So you guys take it for what it's worth. But if you believe because it's printed that it happened, you believe what you want.
Hey, Joey, I'm starting to wonder, are you a cooperator? I know you have my wrench and stuff, but I hope you're not a cooperator. Danny, no one forced criminals to commit crimes. It is dirty business after all. So, so cooperating will be a part of it.
And okay, and I can say this: they could be murdered too, right or wrong.
Tony, Mickey Scars never even held a gun in his hand. Okay.
No, he spent his time getting his toenails polished and his hands polished.
Okay, the truth. Danny Trio, in the future, when you tell us about something you know from the streets, please also explain how you came to know it. Thanks in advance. The truth, just to be honest with you, man, you've been complaining a lot for the last month. You leave the show all the time. Danny explains his life all the time and who he knew in the street and what he did. But you just don't seem to want to hear that.
Listen, let me just say this. I'm not coming on this genre to confess or profess that I'm something I'm not. All I'm saying is my experiences, what happened to me, where I ended up, and what happened. Period. Along the way, I knew guys that were made. I hung out with them. I did work for them. Period. I got shot. I almost died. Whatever. So, I think I have a little bit to say. And I've been around guys that are dead now. But I've been around some good guys. So, I think my position and my premise, is worth something. So if you guys feel a different way, then you should sub to the rat channels and coddle them, because I say it the way it is. And if people don't like the way I talk or I curse, I'm sorry.
Okay. Joey Electric. So why should Mikey Scars serve life in prison if he hasn't committed any violent crime? How about the guy?
It doesn't matter. Listen, if you're in, listen, fuck this guy. Get him off the channel. If you're in school and a guy slaps you in the fucking head, what are you going to do? Theoretically, are you going to go tell the teacher, or are you going to wait for him after school and break his back? It sounds like you would run to the principal or the teacher and say, "Oh, Mikey hit me in my head." That's what it sounds like to me. So listen, Joey Electric, I appreciate your comments. Do me a favor, go cut your grass and don't come on this channel no more, because you're an imbecile.
He's one of our wrenches.
Fuck him. Take this wrench and shove it up his ass. Another fucking moron. It's black and white. This guy wants to make a fucking issue out of it. He's another rat, probably.
Okay.
These people are fucking morons.
Nadu mentioned that Scars demands $15K for interviews.
He could suck 15 cocks. Tell him to go do that. His own fucking wife don't even like him.
The link's down there. If somebody wants to come in, you're more than welcome.
15,000. Let him suck 15,000 cocks. Fucking queer.
Okay, I definitely understand the angry feeling for a rat, because instead of being a person, man or woman, and accepting your punishment for the crime, they take the low-life way out by ratting.
What's so hard to understand about that? Brian is completely correct. If you're in school and somebody slaps you in the fucking head, what are you going to tell? Or if they steal your apple in lunch, what are you going to tell? I mean, it's the same premise, you moron. These people are sick.
Yeah, and Brian Press, thank you. I wish there was more logical people like you. But here's what's happening to the mafia genre. It's becoming watered down. These guys have brainwashed a lot of you. That's what
these guys watch Gravano, fuck Mazza, and all the rest of them, and they I don't know. They want to emulate these people. They think these people that did this are right. They're all jerk-offs. Because I guarantee you, you mark my words, if you were walking down the street and they were walking up to you and you cracked them in their fucking jaw, they'd call the cops.
Okay, let's see.
Fuck out of here. They think they know it, these people here.
The vast majority of what we know about Costa Nostra comes from government cooperator. Oh, I already read that one. Okay. Joey, the link's been down there. The link's down there. Jesse, I like seeing Lee call people a bitch. Okay. Well, as long as people come in, we got 275 in the house right now. Thank you so much, people. So listen, people like this subject. And you know what it is? If you believe that these cooperatives have the right to do what they did, that's your opinion. That's it. We're not going to judge you by that. Danny might judge you. I'm not going to judge you. But Danny understands the streets because he had friends put away because of, would you say you had friends put away because of rats?
I got a guy doing life right now.
And it was because of a rat.
Yeah, it is. Listen, these guys don't understand. They all live in fucking fantasy world. They believe Gravano. They believe fuckboy Mazza. They believe all of them. You know what I'm saying?
Tommy, how you doing? Why you got that smile on your face, Tommy?
Fucking Danny, my man, you feeling better, right, cuz?
Yeah, I think I'm feeling too good. What's up, pal?
Just chilling, just enjoying the show. Good show today, guys. Good show.
Thanks, Tommy.
I love it.
So, Tommy, what do you think about these people that the amount of people in here that have no problem with these guys ratting out and destroying families, and they have no idea what goes on behind ratting?
You're perfect. You just recalculated what I was thinking before I got on. That's exactly what, and you were talking about a little while ago. I think a lot of these people, like Danny said, don't have an understanding of the life, but are fascinated by it. So they're going to have a little bit of a different, maybe opinion or perspective than someone like maybe the three of us do. That's not giving them a pass on how they feel about it. That's just having a basic understanding of why they might see it a little different. Listen, it's a world that people are obsessed with and fascinated with, right? And all that they're getting is what, they're hungry for information. Unfortunately, you're only going to get it from rats. The majority of it you're going to get from rats. So that's why people are loving it. That's probably
you're not going to get
the basic understanding of why.
You're not going to get, say, a shelved wise guy. I'll give you an example. I talked to Corrado, the guy in Detroit, made man. He's a captain.
Yeah.
He absolutely refuses to come on this platform. He'll talk to me on the phone, but he will not go on this platform. Is that right? Can we say that about him, Danny? He will not come on this platform?
Correct.
And he is a made man. That's a real gangster, people.
Yes. But listen, guys, they are watching.
Yes.
All the street guys, I'm telling you, made guys, street guys, guys that have been released, they are watching. They're watching these shows. They might not comment and they cannot come on, but they are watching. I guarantee you that 100%. They're watching.
The other day, to be fair, I called up this Corrado guy, Paulie Corrado, and I had a little argument with him. I said, well, why can't you come on and just do a voice on the phone saying you are who you are and stuff? But he wouldn't do it, people.
Nah,
he wouldn't even put a voice on here.
They're really not supposed to. That may change, just like Cosa Nostra itself has changed. That may change eventually, but they are really forbidden from being any part of social media. So you might get guys, get some guys that work the fringes and they'll give you a conversation, but it's baby steps, I think. Yeah, you're going to see more eventually, I believe, Lee.
Yeah, but if they come on and do the type of shows they're supposed to do, there's no problem with that.
I agree with you 100%.
Yeah,
they're convicted of, they're not implicating anybody. They are convicted and sentenced. They did their time, so they don't have much to hide. The best thing they could do is give us a clearer picture of everything. If they are admitted wise guys and did their time on it, right?
Yeah, well, you and Danny, I'll give you an example. You and Danny talk all the time, but you don't mention names. You don't drop names.
That's another, Lee, just one more point that you brought up. Great. You've got all my 3 points out in 2 seconds. You did it great. Somebody asked Danny, he brings these stories, but he pauses and abbreviates or doesn't finish. We can give you stories. We cannot give you, we're never going to implicate anybody. We're going to give you a nice story, bits and pieces of stories here and there from our experiences, but that's going to be it. You're not going to get names from us. You're going to get experiences. And that's basically it. And that's content. That's as far as you can go.
And listen, I want to put this remark up here quickly. I'm going to deal with this remark.
Okay.
Oh, Danny, what's your thought on Jimmy? The basic reason you're asking that question, Robert, we've done shows here on what we think about Jimmy. We're done with Jimmy.
Everybody knows how we feel about it.
We're moved on. But if you're coming out here trying to provoke shit, it ain't going to happen. So
everybody knows how we feel about these guys.
Come up with a better question, Robert.
Everybody knows how we feel about these guys. It goes without saying. It's supposed to, for us, type of guys, go without saying. And, Danny can get heated about it very, very, very quickly. I don't get as heated about it as he does, but I feel that exactly. He speaks me, basically. I've told him that before. He speaks what I feel. That's why I love it. You know what I mean?
Thank you, Tommy.
Mob Organized Crime Podcast. 50 Cent got hit 9 times. Gunshots are survivable, though I ain't volunteering to be the guinea pig. Yeah, but you know what? I got a good point to that mob organized. Tupac got shot on 2 different occasions, but the third time he got shot, he died.
Yeah.
So, sometimes your luck runs out. Or Mikey Hamster got shot several times. What happened the last time he got shot? He's in a wheelchair for life. So
That's worse. I'd rather be dead, I think. Oh my God. I mean, being shelved and getting hit like that where you're paralyzed, those are the 2 worst things that can happen to somebody on the street. Getting paralyzed by almost being clipped and being shelved. The 2 worst things that could happen to somebody in their life.
Frankie Johnson, you could have a normal, regular operating business and get ratted on, and the feds take you on, and it will take you lots of money and time to jail to get proven innocent because of an informant. Exactly, dude. They do it. That's what they do. The feds will bring you to court. They know that you will have to take a plea because you don't have the money to fight them.
Yep.
That's the game.
Yes. It's tough, man. That system is no joke, bro. That system is no joke. Damn, it's a crazy system. I can't read the chat, guys, because I'm driving, so I'm just,
No problem. Davis Dean, they will never show their face. Exactly.
Yeah, that's another thing with these Mamalukes. Show your face.
Miss McGinnis Miss McGinnis says, listen, Danny Trio is refreshing. See that?
I understand. Look, I understand people sometimes not showing their face, but if you're not going to show your face, at least show your real name and come on some way.
Okay, Mob Fertilizer, get your facts straight. Danny, how many times were you shot?
Twice.
Twice. Where did the bullets hit you?
No one said 6 times.
I know you did. Okay, and where did the shots hit you?
My
Back,
stomach.
Right? Oh, stomach.
Your stomach. Okay, so MRE Fertilizer, get it right next time, brother.
Yeah, you got 2 bullets.
If you want that wrench on here, you got to get this stuff right, MRE Fertilizer.
Danny, you had 2 bullets or 2 attempts?
Yeah, 9mm. I had a shit bag. I had catheter for over a year. I have lost half my intestines. I have other personal medical problems. So,
But when they come to your bedside and say, I don't know, somebody just randomly attacked me.
They came to the medical facility in Brooklyn,
you know the answer.
And the suits came in and they said,
of course.
Anyway, it is what it is. And that's all.
Mike Hind, 449. I'm guessing that's from England. I might be wrong. I apologize if I am. But thank you. One more thing. Danny, it feels kind of good. It feels good to talk about it for you, or does it bring back stress?
No, it does. Because if I don't talk about it, you hold it in.
You hold it in.
Yeah, and I get in my mind, I still think I'm on the street and I want to go do something, and I can't afford to do that.
Exactly. But talking about it, I think I guess you could call it somewhat therapeutic. It helps us.
It does. It is.
Yes,
it is because you hear people respond, or you have a different perspective on why or what, and it's like with anything else, you try to rationalize and with people, and it comes out a little better, Exactly.
I find it very it works for me. You get an hour or so chit chatting about it. It really does work because you'll go over here. You'll have a clear mind. You'll have a nice evening.
Right. It does.
Hey, Tom.
Yes, sir.
You look refreshed and healthy. What the hell's going on with you, man? The white hat.
I feel pretty good. I had a tough night last night. I was out all night, but I got a good diagnosis a couple of weeks ago that my skin cancer is gone, and I feel better about it. Nice. So I think a lot of things. I put it too many pounds back on, but I think when I got that clean bill, it changed me a little bit. I don't know.
Good for you, man.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. Eddie Machete says Danny is great. I'm new all of this, so far, Danny, this is one of the real deals. Thank you, Machete.
Thank you, Eddie. I appreciate that.
I appreciate it. Oh, people, if you have not subbed to this show, we are only a couple subs away from 4,000. Help us get
to it,
please.
If they're watching, sub, Lee, I got the same problem on my channel. They're watching, and I can't hit like right now because I'm driving. But if you're watching, if you're watching, sub, hit like, and good. I mean,
you know what it comes down to, though, Tommy. Some of these people don't like to sub; they like to go from show to show. I respect that, And
Oh,
if
okay.
we earned our subs, we earn them. Some people just are like that. And I've had
Oh, okay.
I've actually had guys say, I won't sub to any of the shows, but I like you guys.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a good thing too. As long as they're tuning in, right? So if you can't get the sub, you get the view. Well, take it,
Right.
whatever you get.
Gunsmoke, good to see you in the house, brother. Okay. The
Go
mob has
Yankees.
been paying off the government since the beginning days of the mob. Hey, God knows who's what. Eddie Machete, Tommy Stiggs. We never heard anything bad about Tommy. The only thing I hear bad about Tommy is he goes on all the shows. Some people don't.
I do.
But,
I do, but I pick and choose the topics that I choose to, me. You guys know me by now. You know how I operate. I don't criticize. I'm along for the ride. I enjoy content, and I'll never take a side, and nobody's ever going to give me an ultimatum to make me do that, right? And it'll never happen.
okay, Marco, Mikey Scars said that they were saying Gotti was going to be the next boss in 1979.
Wow.
Well, I guess someone didn't tell Paul Castellano because Paul Castellano was firmly entrenched at that time.
Paul didn't get that message until what, 85?
Yeah,
85.
Let me tell you something, people. Nobody ever knows who's going to be the boss in the mob.
Nobody knows.
Would you say that, Danny? You know.
Yeah, absolutely.
John Gotti did the hit on Castellano, but what happens if they said no to Gotti and then you had a friction? They did have friction. As a matter of fact, a war started because of that.
They did have some friction, but Gotti was a guy that was very difficult. When you went in, I was never in a room with him, but from what I understand, when you went into a room with Gotti for a meeting, he programs your brain by the time you left that meeting to think the way he is.
Oh, without a doubt.
He has some skills. That's actually a compliment because that takes a lot. Self-confidence, flamboyancy, the way you speak. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. He had a way about him, man.
Okay, Frankie Johnson says Scars is trying to align himself with Angel and Korea Jr. Well, here's what it comes down to. Angel and Korea Jr., well, he runs this thing. If he aligns with Mikey Scars, that means that everything he stands for is not true. So I don't think he would align with him. If he did align with him, that would make him a phony.
Wow.
So that's what it comes down to. And would you agree with that, Tommy?
That sounds
aligned with. I mean,
why would you speak about rats and then align yourself with one? That makes no sense.
I don't think he will.
And if you're a member of that, and then you align yourself with Mikey Scars,
I don't think so.
You got to move on. So that's all talk, people. I find it hard to believe.
I think he's pretty strong on his principles. I think he'll keep it on track the way he likes it going right now. I think he's up with what he likes to do and what he's doing. I think he'll go with it 100%. I don't think he'll budge. He's passionate about what he's doing. God bless you. Go for it.
That's all.
Whatever works for you.
Trolls come out and somebody's show is going good. Lee and Danny's show will only get bigger and well prepared for the trolls. Yes, we let the trolls speak here. As long as they're not totally disrespectful, we'll let them speak here and say whatever they want about me and Danny. Because you know what? When this goes off, what they say has nothing to do with anything. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah. All right, guys, I'm going to do the most fantastic thing that we have in this country. I'm going to watch high school youth baseball game right now, my nephew, and get away from all the drama.
Oh,
good,
you got that? You
dressed
dressed up for a baseball game. I like that. What color is that hat?
That's white.
Okay. Well, you have a nice time. Enjoy the game, my man.
Take care.
All right, guys. Have a good afternoon. Have a good afternoon, guys.
You're welcome anytime.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.
Oh, you know what? We're going to block Joey Stiggs. Joey Stiggs is blocked. Let's not let him in here no more, people. He's a scumbag.
What do you say?
I don't even remember. I blocked him. No, but he comes in. He's using Tommy Stiggs' name on purpose.
Yeah.
Don Vito, Tommy Stiggs not wearing a vest. What the fuck is going on? Lee, that Joey Lohman is a fake. Oh, is it? Thank you, Jesse. I appreciate it. Jesse, and I got to give you a wrench. I didn't give you one. come in the next show when I start my show early. I'd definitely like to give you a wrench. John DeGiorgio, I could tell by reading the comments, 90% of these people never lived within 20 miles of a neighborhood that had a real mobster on every corner. You hit a point, you know. I'll give you an idea, people. Back in the 80s, I worked right across the street from what's his face?
Wild Bill
Social Club. I didn't even know it was there. I lived in this area. I worked at Scaturo's, right in the middle of everything. If you don't look for it, you're not going to find it. And that's what it comes down to, because a lot of those guys you'll never see because they stayed away from the average. Would you say you guys basically stayed away from the civilians and stuff when they were in the street?
Some did, some didn't.
Yep. And unfortunately, you do have people that are criminals and go after anybody. People know that nowadays, the cop callers and rats. Back in my day, they didn't call the cops. You dealt with it. Yep.
Exactly. It's a completely different ideology today.
Or the cops come to your house and say, "You guys handle it. Don't call us." They really would.
Even back in the day on the corner, if the cop came by in the corner, if he said, "Don't get off the corner," if you didn't, he'd kick you in the fucking ass. That's all.
Frank, all these people on the internet are not in the mafia. First, real people operating in the world are not on the internet. Well, everybody's on the internet, Frankie. I kind of misunderstand how you're saying that. I think I know how you're saying it, but I don't want to say it if I get it wrong. Okay, Bob. Destroying families. Laugh out loud. So a murderer should be ratted on because you might destroy his family. Listen to what you're saying. See, Bob, you haven't listened to what we're saying. Most of the guys sent to prison weren't murderers for life. So, Bob, it's obvious either you are a rat or you love them. I don't know which one it is, Bob. Why do they think that everybody that got ratted on is a murderer?
Again, Lee, it goes back to what I said before. A lot of these guys, not all, but I would say a majority of these people, listen, they have no fucking clue. And I'm not trying to be a scumbag or a wise ass, but they have no clue. They really don't.
Okay. Danny has never claimed to be more than, no, never has.
I never did. I'm not, because I'm a nobody.
Okay, let's see. Name one guy in a mob who made an impact like Gotti from the associate to the boss in 10 years. Nobody can climb that ladder if you're not loved. Marco, John Gotti was not loved. If John Gotti was loved, he wouldn't have became the boss. So I'm a little bit confused. He had his soldiers around him. Most people did not like the bosses, you know, in general. So do you think that everybody loved John Gotti?
Oh, absolutely not. I think John Gotti was feared more than he was loved. And I think John Gotti, to his credit, would say he'd rather be feared than loved.
Okay, Skeeter Rothschild, you got blocked because I don't like you. I didn't block you for no other reason besides the fact I don't like you. And this is our show, we could do that. So Skeeter, you're going. Go Skeeter away, Skeeter.
He could have came on and big mouth, you know, he could have came on here and pled his case.
I'll see it once, so none of these people grew up with, well, listen, I'm going to ask you a question. John, is John DeGiorgio from Facebook?
John is from Boston. He had a club out in Boston, so he's a good guy. I know John, and that's all I'll say about him.
Okay, we're not going to skirt around this. I'll put it up. Does Danny think John Jr. is a rat? Even if Jr. never met with the FBI, he still quit the mafia and admitted that the mafia has done interviews. That's your question.
That's my question.
Yeah,
Listen, if anybody, and I'm going to be clear as hell on this, if anybody sits down with the government, okay? And I'm going to be clear as hell. If you sit down with the government, I don't give a fuck if you're John Gotti Jr. or the Pope, and there's 302s for what you agreed to testify to or admit to, you're a rat.
You're going to say it better than that, people.
100%.
Jason, I could see you fully today.
Yeah, I got my phone stationary instead of my hand today.
So, Jason, what's your opinion on Mikey Scars coming into this genre to make some money off his myth?
Well, why not? Everybody else does.
And I agree with that. Anybody should be able to come in here and make money, but don't lie about who you are.
You know, I saw today, I saw one of them other guys saying, buy a book that's not from a rat. And he fucking put up Shadow of My Father by Gotti Jr. Gotti Jr. is a rat too.
Oh God, we're gonna get hell now, people.
He sat with the government. He filled out 302s. And, you know, he could say anything he wants and defend himself any way he wants. He still went and did that. If you sit with the government, you're a rat.
People, you got to understand when you do a 302, you're going in there for a reason. Because when you do a 302, you know where you're going. You know where you're going to be sitting down.
I forget who it was. It was one of them. It was one of them channels this morning. He said, "I got 2 books." He said he had the Frenchman book.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Providence, whatever it is, something at what cost, Providence. And he said this was the second book he ever bought, and it was Shadow of My Father. Buy a book that's not from a rat. But Junior's a rat. Junior would have got killed if he would have tried staying in that life.
Okay, well, I'm gonna get jumped now. Thank you, Jason. Thank you. Okay, you put me within the torpedo now.
Truth.
There's nothing worse than a torpedo from FBS or Angel. Okay, so guys, let's so let me ask you a question, Jason. Did you basically grow up in Brooklyn, Queens? What area of New York?
Jersey City.
Oh, that Jersey.
Hudson County, Jersey City.
So, without getting into it, I know you don't want to talk too much. What exactly did you do, and who were you around?
When I graduated from high school, I went right to work in the Union Hall. I went to work in Local 21. Local 21 was run out of a coffee shop on 2nd Street around the corner from all my friends. We all went to work out of the Union Hall when we got out of the high school.
And what did this union run?
The Laborers Union.
So
I said this the other day.
Right.
Jimmy Knapp's kid was the boss of the union. Jimmy Napoli from the Genovese family. He was a captain in the Genovese. He got in trouble with the Bobby Manning case too, but he died. Yeah.
I could talk to you better today. The other day was you lost your virginity coming on here. Today you look like you're ready.
Uh-huh.
So, okay.
But me and all my friends worked out of the hall. Some of my friends got smart and went to get better jobs. Me, I've been working at the Union Hall for 33 years now.
Now, what were they in charge of all the big projects in that area at that time? All the big buildings going up?
Anything in Hudson County, yeah. I think at the time it was anything over $5 million we had our hands on.
So anything in the so what?
Any high rise, anything over $5 million, we had to be involved with.
Did the Genovese family share any of that wealth with other families?
No.
So it was strictly Genovese.
Yes.
So how did they divide that up? I'll give you an example. Sammy Gravano had his stuff going on. A lot of guys worked with these unions and stuff. How did they decide who gets what union? Did the bosses all sit down in the commission meeting and break it up? How did they do that?
In Hudson County, all we had was the Genovese family. You had one guy that was made with the bananas. And wow, that's it. You didn't have any other families. All you had was Genovese guys in Jersey City.
And there was one Bonato guy there, right?
You had one Bonanno guy.
That's pretty interesting. And was the money coming in, like, say, was it just a lot of money?
Yeah. Jimmy Knapp's kid took over the position when the former business agent was murdered in the Union Hall.
What Union Hall was he murdered in?
Local 21.
He was murdered in the Union Hall you were at.
Yeah, he was murdered in the Union Hall. Before I joined the union, the business agent that was there got murdered. And then Jimmy Knapp's kid took over, Rocco.
Well, that worked out. So did they ever get who murdered this guy?
It's known who murdered him. I don't think the guy ever got charged, though.
I guess they knew it, but they couldn't prove it, right?
I don't think, as far as I know, the guy never got brought up on charges.
Okay, let's see. Okay. Jane Creek, many of them can't vote, own guns, get employment, some rewards yet. Let me ask you a question. I always wondered this question, guys. So New York always had pretty tough gun laws. Yet mobsters carried guns, even if they were felons. How worried were they that they were going to get busted with that gun on them?
Very
I
little.
wasn't worried about it until I got busted with it.
Oh, that happened to you?
Yeah.
And did you wind up doing any time off of it, or?
Yeah, I got 5 years for it.
5 years for having a gun?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, well, I guess that was a good question.
Yeah. Yeah, I got 5 years for it.
Did you do Fed time or state?
No, state time.
State time. How much time did you do altogether, Jason, if I may ask?
8 years.
8 years over the time?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's... And how was prison for you? I mean, when you went in, were there other wise guys?
I always expected the worst because I was always small. I was skinny. I just gained weight in the last couple of years. I always expected the worst, but, you know, if I had a problem, I let my fist do the talking first. Once you crack them in the mouth and they see blood, they know they're going to have an issue the rest of the time.
Okay, Carmine. Tony Ducks, he gave up Scars and Danny Marino. That couldn't make bail after Junior gave the information. He also blamed murders on Joe Watts. Anyone that doesn't believe that, he ratted is delusional. Guys, what do you think about that? Would you say that? Okay, Lucky Luciano. I know Lucky's here. What do you think about that? What do you think of some of these names in here? When you come in here, Jason, Lucky Luciano, and Tony Ducks, and all these great names.
Whatever.
This guy, Jason, know any of the concrete masons?
Sure he does.
Yeah.
Well, that was part of the union, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But didn't those guys...
The Gallows ran the concrete union. Now,
the unions that you were part of, did they decide what the salary was going to be on these guys?
The salary was $11.90 when I started in 1987.
Well, that was considered good money back then.
Yeah, that was good money.
Really good money.
Yeah.
Shit, in 1986, I was making $4 an hour, working 60 hours a week. I thought I was making good money. So I can imagine what you were thinking.
Yeah, it was good money. All the overtime was double time. It was good.
Okay. Jason, I think you're going to like this remark, but I'm sure you're going to have a good answer for it. New Jersey was a vacation spot, hideout for a lot of mobsters.
I guess.
Well, if you were going to hide out, that was the place to hide out, unless you went to Atlantic City or something, where all the floor bosses knew everybody. Hey,
I
so
always thought the Poconos or something.
Did you ever spend any time down in Atlantic City?
I went down there gambling here and there.
You know,
having no long-term stuff.
You know what's funny, guys? And Danny can answer this too. Back in the 80s, when you went to casinos, they were run much different than they are now. Every casino had a floor boss, and every floor boss was pretty much connected. It's not like that anymore. Now it's all college education.
It's all regulated now. Forget it.
But you remember that when
Las Vegas too.
Yeah.
Last time I went to Las Vegas, wow, 20 years ago. Wow, time goes by quick.
I remember I was in 1987, I was at the Tropicana in Atlantic City, and I was playing the slots, and I hit and won a lot of money. I remember the floor boss, and he didn't want me to leave. And he even told me to go upstairs and they could send a woman to my room. I mean, that's floor bosses back then. They would never do that now.
Nah. Nah.
And the floor boss looked like Pussy from The Sopranos. You know, totally different than it is. So people, when you go to casinos now, one of the things about us older guys, we kind of remember. But Jason, you're not as old as us, though.
No.
Right.
He's got a few years on me. I'm 52.
Okay, you're a baby compared to us. New York carpenters plus all the benefits in the 80s, just like myself, I was earning $35 plus benefits. Good money back then, my man. He felt bad for Lee. Finn Creek, put it in English, man. Write a full sentence, put it up. That's all I can ask you, Finn Creek. Okay, you have California Living says, I like Jason Moscow. He is an interesting fella. So, Jason, are you really an interesting fella?
I don't know.
Well, you know, you work for unions and you knew people. I think that's pretty interesting. Danny's the same way. I mean, and you know what's funny, though? Some people that were around these families never became associates and stuff, but they seen a lot and were respected. Would you pretty much say that?
Yeah.
Especially if guys knew how to make money.
Yeah, you didn't have to be a made guy around here. You know, we had one guy that was the chief in the whole area. And if you were with him, you were good. Joey
Bagadonis, they still have pit bosses and floor men, but they are skinny and 30 years old. Yeah, the floor men back then, usually they made a guy like Tommy DeSimone or someone like that a floor boss. When they walked up on you, it was intimidating. You guys should invite him on more often, Lee and Danny. Justin Moscow, I'm talking to you. Jason's welcome on this show anytime he wants to pop in.
Absolutely.
He just did it. So, oh, look at this one, guys. Lee Cole is the quack of the mob genre. AR Clash, I'd like to thank you for the view. Thank you very much. You're in the room. We got about 250 people here right now. Thank you, brother. Do these people that come in here and insult us understand that they're helping us with the views? Do they get it?
They don't get it. They think by
it.
coming in here and making a fucking cornball comment, they're accomplishing something.
And they don't realize that I wish there was 100 of you guys in here. That would be 100 views. Do you understand that? We've been well over 250 for an hour now, people.
That's good.
Yeah, well, you know, there's two shows that do it consistently, and it's mine and FBS's. That's consistency. Now you have to go through backyards, checks to work in restaurant. Oh God, getting a job nowadays, forget it. You know, these jobs now. Have you guys tried to get jobs with your backgrounds? Have you ever?
No, I'm lucky. If I didn't have the union hall job, I would have been in trouble a lot more than I was.
Nowadays, if I went for something, I would be rejected and turned down. Danny, I guess that's why people own.
Yeah, the bells would go off. They wouldn't even forget about it. Murder.
You can't even get an apartment or anything nowadays.
Yeah, you can't.
They run your background. And
everything's a background check.
Hey, Danny, I don't know if you want to talk about this. If you don't, just shut me down. Did you want to talk about what they're doing with the glass companies in Florida now? With people that have been busting their ass and have.
Well, now what they're doing is they're doing background checks because there's glass companies are a dime a dozen in Florida. Everybody's a glass guy because there's a lot of money to be made. And what's happening is a lot of undesirables are getting involved in. They're doing scrupulous things. They're cheating the insurance companies, what have you. So now, to apply for a license, you have to have a mandatory level 2 background check, and that means fingerprints, FBI. So for me, I have a problem because I never had that. So if I have to go get fingerprinted and ran a level 2 FBI background check, I'll fail with flying colors. They won't give me a fucking license. So my operating license would be taken away, and I'm fucked.
Oh man!
And you're not grandfathered in. When is this
No.
law? When is this law finalized?
Right. It
when's
doesn't
the
matter
last?
who you are, Safe Flight, Glass America, any of them.
So the main
Oh,
reason
man.
they're doing this is for the people the scammers that are coming in, because the glass companies are basically controlled by the insurance companies. Would you say
Correct.
that?
Correct.
How much of your business is through insurance companies, Danny?
95%.
95%. So very few people just pay cash now.
Yeah, the only ones that really pay cash are people that have, cars that are not fully covered, car lots, used car lots. They pay out of pocket, But anybody that has full comprehensive insurance or full coverage, obviously the insurance company waives the deductible, and they go ahead and put the windshield in Florida for nothing.
So how much longer can you stay in the glass industry before they
I
want
can't. Next year, that's it. I gotta. Unless I put it in somebody else's name or whatever. But I'm not. I don't think I'm going to do that. I'm just going to sell mine part and get out of it because I'm not going to be told what I can and can't do.
Wow.
And that's an interesting story, people. See, so when people come out of prison and they try, and Danny has literally turned his life around. A very successful man, a couple houses. He's successful. Matter of fact,
I bought a house in Georgia last year. My intention was to go live there, but things didn't pan out.
This is actually a good one, guys. Danny should have ratted, then the FBI could have helped him with his business.
Yeah. Ain't that some shit?
Yeah, but people, this is what's going on. Here's Danny, a guy that put his whole life together and stuff. But now the insurance companies are coming in and saying that we want to see if you have a record. They're not going to even take the successful companies that have been around and grandfather them in.
I mean, listen, I don't have any hatred towards them. They have to do what they have to do because, to be here and to see how it's run or ran, it's everybody's a glass guy. You know what I mean? So, they're doing, they're not honoring the warranties if the cars are, leaks and air noises and what have you. A lot of these companies ain't going back. They got paid for the car, for the job, but they're not going back to correct any, warranty work that needs to be done. And that's a problem because these insurance companies pay them and then they just disappear.
Jesse Roth, Danny, I didn't realize you were a glass guy. I thought you were in construction.
No, man, I'm a glass guy.
And how long you been a glass guy, Danny?
Since 2010.
Now, when you worked in New York City, when you lived down in Brooklyn and you went out to Coney Island, didn't you do some glass work out there?
I lived on West 16th Street, right around the corner from Brooklyn Auto Glass, and that's where I learned how to do glass, among other things.
And that was pretty much at that time controlled by certain people.
Gambino crime family, correct?
It was the Gambinos at that time. They controlled that whole area of Coney Island, all those.
No,
places.
It was just I'm not gonna use the person's name. There was a couple people involved in it. It was a known Gambino spot. It was controlled by one made member and an associate, and that's about that.
And that's where you seen John A. get knocked out. Is that correct?
Yeah, he did. He got knocked down on West 16th Street and Neptune Avenue.
See, Danny even remembers the spot that the mighty John A. got knocked out.
The midget.
Okay. How big was the guy that knocked John A. out?
Not too much. Not about 5'9", 5'10". Victor
Did John
wasn't
A.
a big guy.
at least get one shot in?
They walked together, and there was words. Victor hit him, and he fell. Period.
Now,
There was
Victor,
he didn't get up and try to fight back. He only got tough after it was over. So
And didn't he want John to do something about it? And John refused?
Well, some people say no, but I'm saying that there was talk about retribution. They wanted to do something to Victor, and that meant they wanted to hit him, and that never happened. So all that rah-rah shit that A-Light projects and all that, you guys, believe what you want, but I saw him get knocked out.
Did you try to help him up?
Oh, yeah. I even burped.
So at that time, he wasn't considered a rat or a snitch. What did people consider him? Did they look down at him, or?
He was a drug dealer. He was a nickel and dime fucking drug dealer. That's all he was.
That's it.
Then he adopted this elaborate scheme that he was John Gotti's hitman, right-hand man. He even called Gotti Sr. even called him after the fucking Castellano hit. So he says.
I'm surprised about that Castellano hit. They just didn't have John A-Light do it by himself.
Yeah. Well, according to John A-Light, he knew everything was going on. He had a report to the Raven Knight right after it was done. The guy's a fucking delusional fucking dope. He's a moron.
What's amazing is the people. What's amazing is the people that believe that. Jason,
it is amazing. And then he goes on and he charges $700-800 for an interview, like he's who the fuck he is.
Well, he's not getting that much for interviews anymore. He's doing them for
whatever
free.
he gets. He's a fucking jerk off. He's a rat motherfucker.
So, Jason, what do you think about these guys like John A-Light? And there's a lot of guys that remember these guys from the past and know they weren't much, coming on here and building themselves up to this level of being like the Godfather.
I was friends with John at one time, but he makes up too much bullshit.
And so you just
last week he had a trans testicle thing on. He was interviewing. And things. You don't know whether it's a guy or a girl.
And wasn't that? And he was hitting on her, I think.
Yeah, and he was hitting on her.
He was hitting on her. Yeah.
Incredible. Come on.
Maybe he's got a little sugar.
He's got a transvestite on there. Incredible.
What an embarrassment. I wonder what John Gotti Sr. would do if he was alive now and seen this stuff going on.
He'd put a hit out on him.
He might do it himself. I totally agree. Look what's happening in politics. Democrats are, let's not even talk politics right now, people. Oh, God. You know something? I went to the grocery store the other day, guys, and I went over to the baby section, and there was literally no baby formula on the shelf. And I'm thinking to myself, how are these mothers feeding their kids? If say they have issues where they can't breastfeed, how are they feeding their kids?
It's all on the border. They sent all the baby formula to the border. They had a senator or something. A woman senator went down there and said, "I'm in the warehouse now," and she put up her camera and all aisles and aisles full of baby formula for the ones that are coming from Venezuela and wherever the fuck they're coming from now.
Absolutely criminal.
Incredible.
Okay. The Sons of Italy, the union I was in was investigated by the FBI. Local 135 does not exist anymore. We had to merge to local 257 and they were being investigated by the FBI.
Yeah,
well, the unions were big money pots. They were big money makers over there,
That's what happens. There was four locals when I started working construction. 21, 31, 202, and 325. My local 21 absorbed 31 and 202, so there was just two of them. And then in 2000, 325 absorbed my local into them because they were the bigger local and they had their own building. And then there was only one local. Now there's only two in the state, north and south.
Miss Campirong says use evaporated milk, but here's the problem with that, Miss Campirong. It doesn't have the proper vitamins in it that kids need. That's why they prefer that mothers breastfeed, but some mothers just aren't capable of it. And evaporated milk, basically what they're doing is they're making a sicker nation of little children. They're putting masks on our children. They're just messing with the little children in this country, something awful. Can you imagine what these little children are going to be like in 15 years from now? I don't even want to think about it.
All right, fellas. I think I'm gonna go.
Well,
All right,
Jay,
Jay. Nice seeing you, pal.
you're welcome
All right.
here anytime you want to come in.
I'll catch up with you next time.
You have a
All right,
nice
Jay.
one.
All right. Thank you.
Take care, pal.
Okay, well, that was good to have Jason here. We got 260. We'll stay on the, being that we have so many here, we'll stay on a little bit more. I'll read your remarks. Let's see. All borough people can still create content without rats. Of course they can. A matter of fact, I'll bet you if all the rats weren't here, you'd actually get some real people in here. But they're probably so embarrassed they don't want to be near these rats. That's what it comes down to. Hit the like button, people. We've had 264 people here. Please hit the like button. And I'd really appreciate that. If you want to donate anything toward the show, underneath in the information or on the top of the show, there's you can hit that for the Cash App. We've already received some donations today. Thank you very much for those. That's greatly appreciated. There was a rumor back in the day that John Elliott was bi.
Probably was.
Well,
looks like a half a fucking fanook anyway.
Okay. Oh, here's Ram. He's still here. Ram, you've been here giving me good time. I'm gonna put your remarks up because you've been here for the whole show. Danny hit the big time. He hooked up with Lee and got his tube button. Laugh out loud. Isn't it amazing what makes these guys laugh, Danny?
Well, it's a comic show for these guys. They come on here and they're absolutely nobody, and they want to come on here and they want to be somebody. So they come to my channel, our channel, and they want to get their 2 seconds of fame. So he got it. Now he can go fucking cut his grass.
Now what you could do is go back to one of those shows that have like 60 people on a good day and go hang out there.
These guys are fucking crackerjack fucking people that, they're nobodies. That's it, period.
Cosimo, you make a great point here. Most food in the United States, America is suspect. Most American foods are banned in Europe because of the ingredients contain things that, yes, you know what? You're absolutely right about that. But that's not why we're having a food shortage. We're having a food shortage because of the fact of the gas prices, and they're doing everything on purpose. How the price of gas goes in America is how everything goes in America. It's just that way. Okay, Carmine S. A-Light has some truth to his stories, but he makes them bigger than it is. Now, all the BS they said about him, people are changing their mind. He was a drug dealer, period.
That's right.
And he did murder that one dude. There's no doubt that he did those. There's a couple things that he did. But see, people, that's the problem. Why can't these guys get on and just talk about what they did? Because
no, he was on first name basis with Gotti Sr. They went out for coffee. They had dinner together. I mean, the guy, listen, I don't give a fuck what he is, what he did, what he didn't do. The guy is a 95% liar. That's all he is. And that's how that's how he is where he is today.
John Giorgio, I was told by wise guys that when I was 16, you think we're mobsters, and real mops are over there, and they would point into state of house. I would never knew what they meant until I grew up. I'm sorry if I just destroyed that reading, John. It was over one sentence. I get nervous. But thank you, John. Agnello, the names are really bothering you, huh? Well, Agnello's is a stand-up guy. He's a good guy. Okay, everyone, help me come up with a nickname for Ryan Lacey. Agnello. You know Ryan Lacey, right?
I do.
Yes. Okay, you guys find him a nickname, but I don't think he's going to take it. I just have a funny feeling. I love when you shout my name, Gunsmoke. The most beautiful thing in A-Light stories is they happened in New York. No, he was locked up in the Brazilian prison. By the time he got out of there, he was running it. Think about it. The guy wants us to believe that with felony warrants for his arrest, that he traveled all over the world.
He's a legend in his own mind.
Yeah. You have felony warrants, people. You ain't traveling all over the world. It's very difficult. Maybe in this country you could travel, but when you go into other countries, there's certain countries you cannot get in if you have a felony. I think a lot of A-Lights that told his true stories, people would listen, but not as much as if he included the Gotti name. Plus, it is hard to back. Without the Gotti name, no one even would know who he is without the Gotti name. He would just be another guy. Okay. 449 from Mark Hind. I don't think I read this one, because you gave one before. But anyway, Gunsmoke pimping the old hoe. I mean, what the hell are you talking about? Gunsmoke, you're pimping somebody? Well, listen, people, we've been on for an hour and 35 minutes. It's been a blast. It's been fun. We had a great time. Danny, did you have a good time? Did you have a good time today, Danny?
What?
Did you have a good time today?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Absolutely. All my cursing and all the big shots that came in, it was great.
And if Danny hurt anybody's feelings, Danny does not apologize for it. Toughen up. Okay, let's see real quick. Brian Press, guys, I just seen to some part on the news. Can you believe? Okay, look, I'm going to try to read a couple more of. I need one. I'm too scared to use my real name. Okay, well, Miss Can't Be Wrong, get together, get a committee together, get Ryan Lacey Agnello a new name, please, but don't make it like an ex-gangster name or something. Don Vito, that means a lot from you. Good show, Lee. Now I can get back to my book. Good. I appreciate that. And you take care of yourself. Okay. Miss Can't Be Wrong thinks you're as tough as fuck. Oh, ex-Canarsie, you should go. Ryan, you should go by Joe Bellacci, since apparently everyone here loves rats. Not everybody. There's quite a few people in here that don't like rats. Let's not give everybody a bad name. Michael Hensley, I'm glad that you're here. Great show, gentlemen. If you got your feelings hurt, leave.
My sentiments exactly, Michael. Thank you.
Carmine says rats will always be rats. $4.99. Thank you very much. Lefty is talking about our Chris right now, Lee. Why do you even bother? Lefty has like 20 people over there. The man's going to be dead within a year. He weighs about 90 pounds. Why do you? The guy's inherited some money and he's killing himself faster. Or if you watch how he is on the show, he looks horrible. You know, he's a walking death sentence. He's killing himself. He's not going to be bothering people much longer. Believe me, you can't live like that. You can't cheat death like that when you're doing that to yourself. Okay. You guys take care. We're going to get out of here now. We had a great time today. Please hit like. Thank you for the nice amount of people watching for over an hour and a half. I appreciate it. Everybody take care. And thank you so much. Hit the like button.